Hey there everybody, welcome back to another episode of Ark Survival Ascended. As always, I'm Captain Beefy. This is the Game Vault. We're going to talk about some advanced resource gathering today and what I believe is the best location in the entire game to gather metal, crystal, and obsidian. Three more advanced resources that are a little challenging to get early game, but once you have the two creatures behind me, an Argentavis and an Ankylosaurus, you're going to be in great shape. So let's cue up the music and we'll get right to it. Alright, so first off, this is where we are on the map. We are at the actual volcano and we are way at the top of it here at, what, 42, 2, and 36 roughly. Now, right up here alone, you're going to find a decent amount of metal, as you can see by these nodes, and obsidian here. Some of these obsidian nodes also will give you metal, I've noticed. I don't know if they're in this area or not. I believe they are. I believe I've seen some. But if we look down into the volcano, you're going to see loads of crystal. Now that's a little challenging to get to. It's best to bring two people here if you can, to have one ride the Anky and swing while the other one holds the Anky with the RG, but it is what it is. Now the more RGs you have, the more you're going to go home with. This crystal here is on a pathway. It's very easy to get solo, and there's just tons of it down here. So we're going to start gathering up a bunch of this and going for it. Now, the Anky is the best creature to gather metal in the game. And it's also very good for obsidian. You really don't want to use the Doedicurus. It doesn't gather that much obsidian. But the Anky, he does a pretty decent amount. And, you don't need a lot of obsidian, especially early game, mid-game. But later on, it does come in handy from time to time. If you're making polymer, using obsidian and, cementing paste, then you're going to want to gather a bunch of this up. But there is a way easier way to gather polymer. And I did a video a couple days ago. You should check it out. It's my creature spotlight on the Kairuku and also a polymer farm. And with that, I've got thousands of polymer just from using that little polymer farm that I made, which consists of a handful of Kairuku, which are penguins, and a Oviraptor and a Pelagornis. And it just seems like I'm making more polymer than the tribe will ever need, So that's definitely the way to go about getting that. So obsidian, like I said, it's useful, but much better ways to make polymer. Don't waste your time making polymer unless you're looking to, level up doing that. Which creating stuff does level you up, whether it be electronics, polymer, all that kind of stuff. It will help you out, but it's also kind of good to kill a whole bunch of baby penguins to level up. That will provide you with tons and tons of XP. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to gather up this whole little top area here on the shelf, and yeah, we'll catch up with you afterward. Alright, so I do have a few RGs with me that are built for weight. This is Beast. He's built for 3,000 weight currently, and we'll keep increasing him. But let's see what we've got here on our Anky. 1,400 metal, 400 obsidian, and 825 stone. Keep the stone, throw it out, whatever you want to do. At this point, I don't see a reason to chuck it. Maybe later on if we start to run out of weight, but I do plan on doing quite a bit more building at the base, so the stone will definitely come in handy there. But we're going to throw all that onto the RG, and the weight's only 748 for him with that, so that's fantastic. So we're going to go ahead and have him follow, and I'll show you the next spot that we want to hit up for some good resources here. Now again, we're at the very top, the rim of the volcano up here, which is great. If you see some hunks of metal that you can't normally reach, like you wouldn't be able to walk your Anky up to them, you can fly your Anky over to them and he will swing his tail. Let's see if there's any in here. I believe there is a few. Yeah, there's some right here along the pathway. So we can kind of fly up toward these, and he's going to automatically swing his tail and hit these. It could be a little wonky sometimes depending on the angle you're coming in. But as you can see, he's hitting quite a few of them very easily. Now I probably could drop him up here and walk him down there, which is fine. But this is just as easy right here, you know? Boom, swinging that tail. I've got one more. I really should get Beast off my back here. There we go. So I think that's pretty much all of it there. So we'll take a look at what kind of metal we gathered up on that run. But we're going to go all the way up here to where the path begins to lead in. We're going to drop the Yankee and work our way down. So let's go ahead and stop all. Get Beast to land here. And we'll fill them up with what we got. But we picked up another, you know, another 300 metal right there. And a little bit of stone, which, again, is not important. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. Okay, you kind of want to keep an eye out on where these things go. Now, metal does weigh less in Yankee, but because we're getting stuff other than metal on this trip, like if I was just going straight out for metal, I would just leave it on him and have an RG carry him around. But being that we're getting some crystal and whatnot, we're going to go ahead and keep. There we go. You know, keep a lot of the stuff on the RGs. Later on, if we are running out of weight on the RGs, and I brought 3, so that shouldn't be an issue on this trip. But later on, if it does become an issue, we could just load up the Yankee with all the metal and put the crystal and obsidian and stone and whatever else on an RG and have an RG that can handle the weight of this guy, carry him home with just tons and tons of metal on him. So we're going to make our way down this path and work our way down. I'll stop by from time to time to show you some great little deposits of crystal, obsidian, and of course metal. So we'll catch up in a few. Alright, so right where it opens up, you got metal, you got obsidian, you got crystal. Decent amount of all of them. Not a super heavy amount of them, but again, there's plenty to gather here. And these crystal, there seems to be a lot of it stacked up on top of each other. So, you know, it may look like you've hit them all, but keep swinging that tail until you don't hear any more glass breaking. Look at that, see? Now that part's done. We'll move on to here. And of course, you just kind of want to be careful with this Yankee. You know, if he plunges off the side, you know, you may have to jump off of him to save him from taking some fall damage. I mean, he should be all right. You know, from up here, you're not going into the lava. But as you get closer to the lava, you're going to want to be a little bit more careful. And of course, if you've got an RG that can handle him, you can always pick him up if he falls into an area that you can't climb him out of, because that can happen. So as you can see, we've got a whole bunch of crystal leading the way down there, obsidian, some metal as well. We're going to gather all that up, and I'll meet you down at the bottom. And that's the tech cave entrance over there. We'll catch up when we get there. Alright, so while you're farming your crystal, metal, and obsidian, this may happen. This is just some really horrible fog popping up right now. Don't sweat it. It will go away after a while. If you got to, just kind of sit back and wait for the fog to lift. If you want to get rid of it, there is a command you can put on the console commands to make it go away. And I think I'll show you that real quick just so you can see it if you're interested in doing that. It is R volumetric fog space 0. R period volumetric fog space 0. And that will instantly make it go away, as you can see. So if that's turning out to be a burden for you, you can go ahead and do that. I'm not. I'm going to let it ride. I like the fog. I mean, it sucks. Don't get me wrong. Let's put it back on. Let me get back in there properly. There we go. So we'll edit it and backspace. There we go. Put it back to 1. It's binary. You're done, and it's back. So yeah, we're going to have to deal with it for now. But we'll get through with it. I'll catch up with you after the fog's done and we get more stuff. What's going on here? Alright, things are being really... Are we not on our guy? No, we were on him. Things have gotten strange. There he is. Alright, so we made our way all the way down here, and there is a explorer note right there in front of the entrance to the tech cave. So if you want to grab that while you're down there, grab it. If not, then you can hold off and use that for your first trip into the tech cave, which will probably be a nightmare, to be honest, but it is what it is. So we're going to go ahead and consolidate and see what we've gathered just on the inside here. There is a patch over here that caused a little burn to my Anki, but he was fine. It only did a few points of damage to him. I guess I can't get that there. I've tried a few times. But yeah, it seemed to be like right up here. Things got a little hot. Oh, I guess it didn't happen this time. Alright, so I've got two different guys out right now so far that we're loading up on. Beast is pretty full. We'll go ahead and load up Deadlift. Or start loading them up. I ended up chucking the stone. I don't, there's no reason for me to really keep it. It's basically extra weight that's not necessary for what we're doing. But as you can see, we got 400 and 400 there on the metal and the crystal so far, just doing this inside area and that top area. So that puts us at about 2,300 crystal and about 3,000 of the metal, which translates into 1,500 ingots, and over 500 obsidian overall so far, which is, really kind of nice. I'm not going to lie. And this is such a safe area, right? Such a safe area. There's nothing in here. I haven't seen any creature spawn here. I've done this several times. There hasn't been any surprise gigas or anything. Now, around the outside of this, yeah, it can get a little dangerous. But up here, there's a little more metal and a little more obsidian, so feel free to come swing your tail up here a little bit, grab all that. We'll do this real quick, and then we'll go back down and consolidate and just see what's on the inside. Afterward, I'm going to go around the outside of this area to see just how much more we can gather and all that and go home. But that's, not necessary to do this video. It'll get a little more dangerous on the outside. You'll have the potential of coming across some RGs and Carnos and all kinds of stuff that wants to hurt you. That's where it'll get a little more dangerous. But for now, it's not that big of a deal. We're not going to come across anything bad. Just see a little more metal up here. So yeah, let me gather this up, and then we'll meet down there and do a final count on what we found on the inside here. Alright, so we're all done with the interior here. I did fly around the outer rim a little bit, found a couple more metal nodes and obsidian nodes up there. Again, I didn't go down the outside of the volcano at all, which I'll do, when I need more metal. I could just go back and do that, but for now I've got pretty much everything I need. I went ahead and consolidated. Let's show you what we're walking away with. Over 2,300 crystal, almost 700 obsidian, 50 mushrooms, and a nice 3,700 metal, man. That's not too bad at all. So what I'll do now is I will put these guys on follow. I'll have them follow me home. I'm going to carry the Anki, though, probably myself, and fly around the outside of the volcano and just gather up some more metal. I'd like to come home with 4, maybe 5,000 metal. I've got a couple big things I want to build, and that should be enough metal to get those built once, like the big forge and then the grinder, stuff like that. So it's going to take quite a bit of metal to do that, but I'd like to get those done. I think I'll do the grinder first because I can grind down a bunch of crap and get some extra stuff. But yeah, that's it, man. This is a really easy thing to do. I've been at this for about, I would say, a half hour in here, roughly, of work overall. I mean, we're at 36 minutes of film time. So, right from the very start, so just a little over a half hour, that's what I was able to gather. If I was being more efficient and not filming, I'd have a lot more. I would expect a quicker time from you guys than me. So if you enjoyed this at all, please leave a like on it down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, ring that bell for notifications. I hit my goal of 1,500 for 2023. So thank you, each and every one of you who was a part of that. I do appreciate it. And and we're looking for a big 2024. So, yeah. I will see you guys next time. Until then, peace.